Why do people react to campaign messages differently? What do campaigners need to do to make sure that they can send their message to the right group of people? Today, we will be answering these questions by looking at the situational theory of publics by Professor James Krunick from the University of Maryland. The situational theory of publics explains why certain groups of people are active or passive in their search for information about an issue. It also assumes that publics will pay attention and seek out information that is useful to them. This theory is particularly important for public relations. Firstly, let's talk about what it means by public. How is it different from stakeholders? Can we use them interchangeably? The answer is no. Krunick and Repper differentiated the term stakeholder and public in the following way. Organizations choose stakeholders by their marketing strategies, recruiting, and investment plans, but publics arise on their own and choose the organization for attention. This classification relied on John Dewey's definition of a public. According to Dewey, the public is a group of people who face a similar problem, recognize the problem, and organize themselves to do something about it. Therefore, publics are born from stakeholders when they recognize an issue and act upon it. You may wonder, who is the general public then? Krunick actually considers this term a contradiction. This is because the public is always a specialized group with certain demands and behaviors. When you say general public, it suggests the public is uniform or similar, which is not the case. And that's not all. Did you know that the situational theory can be used to identify the types of public present? For example, in consumer relations, what kind of publics are present? Are they active or passive? Do they care about the organizational decisions that affect them? A case study we can look at would be Singapore Airlines flights to nowhere plans in 2020. Active and activist publics make issues out of Singapore Airlines plan and highlighted its detrimental environmental consequences. They organized themselves and demanded that Singapore Airlines abandon the flight to nowhere plans. This led to a crisis where SIA had to balance the activist demands while keeping their company afloat. As we can see, active publics are an important group of people that should be monitored. But what causes the publics to be active or passive on certain issues? The thing is, publics are situational. This means that publics are dynamic and rarely permanent. This is why PR practitioners must monitor the situation carefully to segment the public in an efficient way. They would then need to develop an approach to reach them and achieve effective support. That said, there are three variables or factors that predict when publics will seek and process information about an issue. The first one is problem recognition, which means that the publics facing an issue must first be aware of it and recognize its potential to affect them. The second is constraint recognition, which describes how publics perceive obstacles that may stand in the way of a solution. If they think they have a chance at influencing an issue, they will actively seek and process information on it. And the third one is level of involvement, which refers to how much an individual cares about an issue. If they care a lot, they will actively communicate. Those who care little will be more passive in seeking and processing information. Using these three variables, Krunick also described 4 types of publics. They are illustrated in the diagram here. The situational theory also explains why some groups are active on a single issue, others are active on many issues, and others just don't care at all. In general, there are 4 categories of publics, including all-issue publics, apathetic publics, single-issue publics, and hot-issue publics. Their level of activism is determined by whether the group is active or passive, and how an organization is linked with the issue. The situational theory keeps us focused on the kinds of information that publics want, rather than the organization's choice of information to distribute. This is useful for public relations people when they want to plan their communication strategies more accurately.